Happy New Year to all of our Emperor Club members. It's nice to be back, and it's nice to be back with a fresh container of champagnes for the club exclusively. This really is a benefit of the club in that we go and hunt in Champagne and bring back some gems. And when Megan and I were there hosting the champagne tours last year, we had a couple of days where we went and explored some new houses. And we found a fantastic producer by the name of Faniel FE. So Faniel FE, 3 generations, and very much true to what a grower is. They only work with their own grapes. They're a very small producer. They're very passionate. Founded originally by Andre, Mathieu's grandfather, and then his father, and now Mathieu's taken over. They've got a sensational range of champagnes. The house is located in Cormoyeux, which is in the Marne Valley, and I have to say, it's one of the most picturesque parts of the Champagne region. So many of you might have seen on my social media the beautiful Royal Hotel, spectacular hotel that's built in this amphitheatre of grapes. Further down that basin of that amphitheatre, you will find the vineyards belonging to the family, Mathieu, and a beautiful cellar, a very intimate cellar. And I was lucky enough to spend some time with Mathieu on my last trip, and it was amazing walking through the cellars in that you could actually see the fossils. I mean, Champagne originally was an inland sea, and after a period of time, the water subsided. All these fossilized sea creatures and shells and other matter from what was once there, you can literally etch them out with your hands. And I must admit, I might have brought a little shell home. I might have forgotten about that. Sorry about that, Australian quarantine and customs. But really was very impressed with the Maison and very impressed with the wines. Now, coming to our club members are 2 wines. Oriane is coming out to all of our champagne lovers, and Appogia is coming out to our connoisseurs. This is the best way to see the club, is the bottles side by side. So this month, a house feature, which is really nice. Wine number 1, 37% Chardonnay, the balance being Pinot Noir, so just the 2 grapes being used to produce this particular cuvee. It's the split between 2 vintages. So we've got 2020 and we've got 2019, a 60-40 split of those vineyards. I really like this wine. I have to say, I was playing with it before Josh, my camera guy, arrived, and I thought, this is something that I could sit quietly and muse over for some time. Now, it's got a beautiful golden colour, so you can see that it is definitely leading with the Pinot Noir grape as opposed to the Blanc de Blanc that's coming out to the connoisseurs as well. We've got a split between Pinot and Chardonnay. Pinot's talking at the moment. Chardonnay sometimes likes to do all the showmanship, but Pinot's definitely the prevalent grape varietal. It's really interesting that when I put my nose in the glass, the wine has this really waxy quality. White flower and acacia and white peach. For me, that instantly says that the subsoil, which can vary across the Champagne region from being pure chalk, mainly the Grand Cru areas such as Avize and Le Mesnil-sur-Oger, Oger, Croixmont, this is more a clay composition of soil where they are in the Marne Valley, located on that beautiful amphitheatre leading down to the Marne River. You can feel on the nose instantly this waxiness, and I know that that's going to translate to some body and some texture on the palate. After leaving my wine in the glass for a few moments, I had this mandarin orange blossom character, which I thought was beautiful. 6.8 grams of dosage, and for me, it's perfect. It's integrated, it's balanced. You've got good weight, you've got good texture, you've got lovely memory, so you've got some power, staying power in the mouth. Beautifully balanced wine, very enjoyable. You could have the wine as an aperitif, or you could partner it with cuisine. It would stand up to something quite hearty. Has got a lot of oomph and it's got a lot of body, but a beautiful champagne. Its counterpart that's coming out to all of our connoisseurs, Appogia. So this is a Blanc de Blanc, this is a vintage, this is all from base of 2020 year. Nearly 4 years aging on its lees. You've got a bigger bottle shape. So, you know, to me instantly it says we want to have maximum lees contact. We're leaving the wine in the cellar for a longer period of time. We want the wine integrating with the dead yeast that's been put in the bottle to trigger the second fermentation. We want to have maximum contact. When you have more yeast contact, when you have more lees contact, you get more generosity in the wine. Nice thin neck, so that is really the idea behind that bottle, and also it's a more prestige cuvee for the Maison, so they can afford to be a little bit more generous with the bottle shape. It is a Blanc de Blanc, 100% Chardonnay, and the same dosage, 6.8 grams. There's a lot of information on the labels, which I love. It talks about when it was bottled, disgorgement date. So you do have a lot of information for all you champagne nerds that like to get into the technical details of the wine. I don't mind if you just drink it, but if you do want to get nerdy on it, there's a little bit of information on the back. There's also more information on their site. Now, for all of you champagne lovers who will make your way to Champagne at some point, it's really important that you do get off the beaten track. So go and see a big house, see those beautiful Roman cellars, go to Pommery, go to Taittinger, go to Runa if you can, but also get down into those smaller producers. And Faniel is a fantastic producer to go and visit. He's so accommodating and he's so warm and he's so passionate and he's so interesting. I mean, it was a fantastic experience for Megan and I to taste through the entire range, which was phenomenal. As a club member, you are welcome to write to me, write to Megan, and I will introduce you personally to Mathieu or others within our portfolio for you to have your own personal experience, and I highly recommend it. Very generous in the Blanc de Blanc, a much more ample wine, a much more vivacious wine. There's a lot more bold characters on the nose. It's a bit waxy, heavy, powerful, juicy. You know what's coming. It's going to be more generous on the palate. For me and Megan, we loved both of these. We actually loved the whole range, but these were our two favorite out of the collection of cuvées. Oriane for all of our lovers with the blend of Chardonnay Pinot, Appogia Blanc de Blanc for all of our connoisseurs. A bit more time, a bit more oomph, and it's interesting just watching the bead, the perlage in both glasses. A little bit bigger on the younger wine, which is natural, and of course over time the protein of the wine changes and you've got a beautiful fine finesse and bubble in the Appogia. It is more vinous, more like a wine, but drink it out of the champagne glass that I have, or you could even have this in a Burgundy glass and it would do wonders for this wine. Drink it slow, take your time, let it unfold, let it tell you a story. That is our introduction to Maison Faniel. I would encourage you to visit when you can. If not, join us in Champagne and I'm sure we'll be making another trip to the Maison soon. We'll see you on the next episode.